all, I'm Propagandist. Welcome back to some more RWBY Reactions, Volume 7, Episode 4, Pomp and Circumstance. So, last episode we had another combat sequence featuring our main characters as well as the Ace operatives. More than anything it focused on the Ace ops, showing what they can do. So they went down a mine, hunted down a Geistgrim, very similar actually in design to the one that we saw in Volume 4 at the start of that. Except this time it had all the big ice chunks and dust crystals on it. So we had a little bit of a fight scene there, and it was interesting to see a few of the dynamics between those Ace Ops characters and the main cast of characters. Crow, interestingly, might have an interesting dynamic going on with Clover, the alpha of the team, since their semblances effectively seem to cancel each other out. The other big point, just worth, again, sort of signposting here at the start, is what we saw at the end of the last episode with Tyrion. My hypothesis is that the baddies are there and they're looking to perhaps, you know, stir things up in Mantle as a way of perhaps distracting the at-Legion security forces, undermining General Ironwood's plan and all that. So we'll see how that kind of turns out over the course of the volume, I imagine. Because that's the thing about Salem, that's always the way she operates. You know, where she can, she likes to operate from the shadows, actually using people to do her bidding and actually basically achieving what she wants to achieve by getting humans to divide themselves, essentially. So we'll see how that plays out. And of course it's always interesting now to actually see the the actual new designs for the characters. Now that they've been revealed, that means we can also actually watch the opening titles from this point onwards. So we're going to watch the opening titles this time in this episode, see you know, what exactly they show us. Are there any interesting clues that we can glean from those? Not going to rabbit on too much longer, let's actually just get to it. Right, we're going to start in 3, 2, 1, go. Let's have a look at this new opening sequence. So other than just seeing random little frames of it, I've not actually watched it all the way through. So this will be the first time we've seen it properly. So there's our starting designs. I love the transitions into the new designs. Pretty good. She's gone through quite a few of their designs actually in that transition there. Also, I need to clarify all of their names. Hello, Watts. What are you doing? Oh yes, Schnee family. You're going to surely see some more of them at some point. Yeah, I can see why people told me not to watch this until episode 4. Because yeah, it's definitely got some spoiler details in it. Who are you? So that woman that we just saw there with the blonde hair, I wonder if that's this Robin, who they've referred to. This, yeah, this character. Some sort of political revolutionary, perhaps. And there you go. That's the one frame of the opening title sequence that I did kind of spoil myself on a little bit, which I mentioned earlier. Convoy? It's like it's the little mine, isn't it? Oh. Is that the Colosseum? Yeah. Being brought to where it needs to be. Who are you two? Well, you're a Faunus on the left. Spies, perhaps? White Fang? That's the question.
You guys were incredible! Oh, the way you took down that Geist without needing to plan your tactics out, you just knew exactly what to do!
Well, Ace Ops are hand-picked to perfectly complement one another, so we can focus on our assets and leave our liabilities behind.
Some of us are all asset, zero liability. Yeah? Think I've got some liabilities, Elm?
Your brains, for one.
You did ask. Hi! Do you need a new best friend? Our pair name can be...
Sure,
Perfect
why not?
complementary teamwork. Oh, yeah. I want to have my friends' backs just like that.
Friends. This isn't the schoolyard, kid. But I mean, when you go through so much with someone, it kind of changes things, doesn't it?
We get along well enough, sure. I count on them to keep me alive. They do the same. But that's a job. We don't confuse the two.
Interesting.
Speaking of the job,
It's a fair point.
duty ever beckons. You all hang back a second.
In this role, you know that there's always a chance you could end up getting yourselves killed.
What do you guys want to do when we get back to Atlas? Sightseeing? Oh, what should we visit first?
How about our buds?
Oh, come on, guys! This is a great time to go exploring. We haven't done that in so long.
Ruby, we just explored a whole continent on foot before flying to this one.
Well, yeah, but it was only the boring parts.
We almost died.
Yeah, do you remember that time we were in this
Heads
weird
up.
house and there were loads of apathy
Can I
grim
get the team
underneath
leaders
it?
over here? There's something I'd like to discuss with you. You too, Crow. I need you on the ground, but be subtle. If people see too many huntsmen milling around, they'll get nervous. And Clover, don't take Marrow.
New problems in Mantle?
More of the same, unfortunately. Someone in Mantle is taking out public leaders who speak out against Atlas.
Oh.
Specifically, people who speak out against me. It didn't look like a pattern at first, but this is the third murder of its kind in the last week.
They're making you out to be even more of a dictator.
That's the guy that rode with us after we were arrested.
He died?
Your opposition in Mantle dropping dead isn't exactly a good look for you.
Yes,
I'm not
that.
really worried about my public image, but it is causing unrest. I think someone's trying to frame me, and by extension, Atlas. And it's working.
Well, if it wasn't for the embargo making everybody so mad, people probably wouldn't be so quick to blame you for everything else. Sir.
Spoke a bit out of turn there,
No,
but...
no, you're right. Things in Mantle have been hard to manage lately. I'm not blind to its issues. In fact, that's what I want to talk to you about. With the launch of this mobile communications tower and tensions down in Mantle, I think there's a lot of good your teams can do here. What? Already? Here? No, it's fine. Let him land. I'll deal with him myself.
Oh, no.
More Mantle problems?
This could be someone
No.
else. It's a certain
This one was
Schnee,
an
isn't
Atlas
it?
problem.
I think I know who this is going to be.
So let me get this straight,
Yeah.
James. In addition to this nonsensical embargo of yours crippling my business, you've also decided you have the authority to commandeer private property. When the council hears about this, you will never...
Actually, I've already informed them. As this is now the site of a classified military operation, it didn't even require a vote.
Didn't require a vote.
This is awkward
You might
when
want
he
to brush
realises his
up on
daughter's
council
there.
before you lose this upcoming election, John. Now, I've allowed you to land here once as a courtesy. The next time, it won't be a friendly reception.
Lately, you seem to forget who your friends really are. I'm going to get that council seat, James, and maybe then you'll...
Awkward.
You roped my missing daughter into these schemes of yours, too? How long has she been back in Atlas? Did Winter know
It
about
was
this?
my decision to come here. Just like it was my decision to leave. Or have you forgotten all about that?
If you think I'm one to forget anything, girl, then you've misjudged the man your father is.
Believe me, I know exactly the kind of man you are.
How dare you speak to me that way? I have half a mind to...
Half a mind to what, Jacques?
Everybody calm
You
down.
know, your mother was devastated when you left.
Oh, no, don't fall for it.
Didn't leave her room for days. You know how she gets.
This is emotional blackmail. Don't fall for it. Don't. He's guilt tripping you. Don't do it. Don't let him get in your
One
head.
day you would overextend your reach. I didn't come here to beg for an abandoned mine. I came here to thank you for personally handing me the noose to hang you.
Oh,
You'll regret
they've got her
this.
back.
So these are the little friends you threw everything away for.
Not friends. Family.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried about Weiss now. That was a clear attempt at, like, guilt tripping.
Oh, now you show up, Winter. You just missed Father.
I wouldn't say I missed.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's one way to make an entrance.
Did we not start yet?
Apparently, we haven't.
Start what?
Ah. Well,
It
this is
goes
familiar
without saying,
territory.
This arena holds a significance to all of us. It's only fitting that we should be able to reconvene here, now, when the world needs to be brought together more than ever. The road you traveled from our first meeting hasn't been easy. You fought for your school and your friends at Beacon. You fought for the world and the innocent at Haven Academy and beyond. You faced down terrors people can't even fathom. That's not the behavior of students. It's the behavior of huntsmen and huntresses.
Wait,
Oh.
what is this?
You are being granted your huntsman licenses. Today.
Interesting.
I know this is coming a little ahead of schedule, but brothers know you deserve it. I only regret that I couldn't do something a little more ceremonious for the occasion.
We're
Graduated?
honored, General Ironwood. But you really don't have to do
Please, with the threat of Salem still out there, and tensions rising in our kingdom, I certainly could use more trustworthy fighters by my side. I should be so lucky to have all of you. It's okay. It's a big moment. And what better way than to celebrate here? When this tower is ready and communications are back up and running, we'll tell the world about Salem and face down whatever comes at us after that. Together. That's just about all the pomp I have in me. If you'll excuse me, I have to get back to running this operation. Well then, enjoy the cake.
Awkward.
speech outros are improving, sir.
After everything we've been through, I almost forgot this is what I wanted in the first place.
When Beacon fell, I didn't think this would even be possible.
It almost feels trivial now.
Jeez, guys, lighten up a little. Enjoy yourselves for a change. You've earned it.
Finally, someone said it. Let's kill some cake, huh? Because I can eat 2 slices before Ren even eats 1. Who says I can't? Who says it, huh?
Nora, nobody is arguing with you about this.
Nora always has some great facial expressions. Well, that's one use for your knife ability. God, those are some big... Okay, never mind.
Big day for you, huh, kiddo?
It's definitely a lot to take in.
Which part? The finally getting the Atlas part? Getting your license part? Or the not quite disclosing everything to Ironwood part? Or all of the above?
All of the above. I'm trying to do what I think is best, but I really can't tell if what's best is what's right. Or if I'm no different from Oz.
Ruby, Oz only trusted himself with the whole truth. You're trusting others, but you're making sure they prove themselves first. I think that's a pretty big difference.
I hope so.
Nobody
This
said
says
leadership
I'm
is
a huntress
easy.
now. But I don't feel like I know much more than I did at Beacon.
That feeling never goes away.
God, it's getting chilly in here. It's really cold here in the UK at the moment.
Summer would be proud of you.
I have to put my heater on in a little bit.
Her last mission, was that another Oz secret?
There were a lot of those back in our day. But this one was a summer secret. When she didn't come back,
I was about to ask.
seemed just as in the dark as myself and your father.
When are we going to get more information about Summer?
Still, who knows what he may have hidden from us over the years.
What do you think she would have done if she learned the truth about Salem? That she can't be destroyed.
Pressed on, I think. Like you. She was always the best.
You guys still need to realise she might not be destructible. Doesn't mean she's not
Hey,
defeatable.
I like brats.
Hey, Ruby, come check this out.
Oh my gosh, is that a mission board? It's an app now? Can we ride a Goliath? Stop an underground crime ring? Do I get to go undercover? Nice!
Hey, you guys smell that? Smells like fresh meat.
That's odd. I don't smell meat. Neither do I.
You know what? Never mind.
Let me get this straight. You've only been official for an hour now, and you're already looking for huntsman work?
To be fair, we've been official for a whole 57 minutes.
I'd like to remind you all that the real mission here is ensuring the successful launch of the communications tower.
True, but we can also keep training and improving by helping where we can.
The enthusiasm of youths!
Well, it's hard to argue with that.
A little bit dramatic, but
let me show
okay.
you how it works. Ooh, here's an important one. Who wants to volunteer? All right. We need someone to escort children to pre-primary school down in Mantle. There's not actually any danger, but the parents fret, and that attracts Grim. Perfect. Thanks.
Thanks, Sean.
Juan, Jim?
Close enough, I guess. Wow, my first huntsman mission.
And you're escorting children.
A massive saber is loose in the Mantle sewers. We need 2 brave warriors to flush it out.
Hey, what? But why didn't I get a choice for that one?
Sorry, Sean, you're playing babysitter. Oh god, what's up with you? I wonder if we'll get more on him. Is there going to be...
have a visitor.
I told you I didn't want to be
Not
disturbed.
wise.
Why did
Don't
you
do
let
it,
them in?
wise.
I didn't. He
Oh,
let
it's
himself
not
in.
wise. What?
A spitting
I
image of you,
knew
this
it.
lad, Jock. Creepily so, I might add. He's definitely inherited your affect.
Jack, do you know? Yeah, he knows him.
Whitley, leave us. And shut the door.
I was about to ask,
I said shut the door.
is Jacques Schnee going to get some sort of redemption arc? But now I'm thinking...
You're supposed to be dead.
Maybe not.
That is
I don't
what
know.
I wanted people to think. You're right. However, I've heard things about you too, Jacques. Namely, that you have an ironwood problem.
That bastard is costing me more money every day with this embargo. I'd lay off every employee in Mantle if I wasn't trying to get their damn votes for this council seat.
What if I said you could have your cake and eat it too?
Oh no. Right, so Daddy Schnee is involved now with the bad guys. Great. Just when he couldn't go any lower in everyone's estimation. Oh god. Alright. Well, there was episode 4, Pomp and Circumstance, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, as usual, I'm just going to jump up here whilst I stop the recording of the episode itself, and then I'll give some final thoughts. So, in a moment, everybody. Okay, once again, another very interesting episode. So, you know, it's time for jubilation and triumph. The main characters actually have their huntsman licenses now. Like I say, I guess you could say they kind of graduated in that sense. Just not from Beacon, but from the school of real life, I guess. So that's a moment for a bit of optimism. But gosh, yeah, we knew that Schnee family was going to come back into this at some point, and yeah. So I'm a bit concerned about Weiss. I'm a bit concerned that old Jacques Schnee is basically going to play on her emotions, and he's going to sort of undermine her in that respect. With all this spiel about her mother being broken-hearted and all this. So I'm like, oh please, Weiss, do not fall for this. He's probably guilt-tripping you. He's just trying to emotionally blackmail you, get you back under his control. Don't do it. Don't fall for it. Oh God, I always get a bit concerned whenever it's Weiss who's sort of in that firing line, just because, yes, as I've said before, Weiss is probably my favourite of the 4 RWBY girls, because I think, you know, she has one of the most kind of standout, noteworthy character arcs in this series, in this franchise as a whole, I should say. So yeah, we'll see how this turns out. Now the thing is, obviously, everything that we've seen of Jacques Schnee and Whitley as well, really, for that matter, from what we saw of them in Volume 4, you know, they very much came across as a pair of villainous characters, very slimy, very sort of self-interested, very manipulative. But I was about to say, you know, during that episode, are we ever, I don't know, are we potentially going to see a different side to them that might make them a bit more understandable? Will they go through some sort of redemption arc that will actually make us think, you know what, you are capable of changing for the better? And you see, I'm unsure. We'll have to see, because now Watts is talking to Jacques himself, and I think that's very much what's going on here, is that Tyrion is going to rile up the masses down in Mantle, whilst Watts is going to manipulate Jacques Schnee himself. So yeah, this is not good. This is not good at all. God, you will probably see this playing out as the volume progresses. It's going to cause absolute trouble, and that's all I can really say on that matter so far. So that's really the standout thing for me from this episode that we've seen there. Just the villains, you know, doing their spiel, getting up to their usual tricks. So, God, yeah, it's certainly amping up the tension a bit, let's put it that way, ladies and gentlemen. Not much else for me to really say about this episode, other than, you know, the other thing, actually, no, before I do wrap up, the other thing worth mentioning is just that thing that the Aesops were saying about friendship and all that. At the end of the day, they work well together, but they're not so much friends as they are just comrades in arms. They do it as a job. So I suppose really the message they're trying to impart there is that when you're a huntsman and you're part of a team, you know, there is a danger in being too emotionally attached to one another, in that, you know, you're in a job where you have to accept that there is a probability you may be horribly maimed, injured, you might even die. And so it's that question of the impact that that might have on your teammates and their effectiveness. But you see, there's kind of two sides to that. On the one hand, you know, you can understand where the Aesops are coming from in that sense, but at the same time, it's hard to imagine a situation where, if you've been through real kind of shit together, it's hard to imagine that you wouldn't form some kind of emotional bond with one another, as Team RWBY have done. So, indeed, it's a tricky one. There's no sort of easy answer to that. And of course, you know, the thing for RWBY is there's no kind of easy approach to leadership. As a leader, you're always going to be sort of wondering, I think, at times, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the best thing for not just my team, but for everyone else more widely? And, you know, there are going to be plenty of situations where the answer to that question is never clear. And in fact, there may well be situations where there is no easy answer or good answer to that question. You just have to do what you think is the right or the best thing in a particular moment in time. So certainly a bit of inner conflict going on there, I think. Other than that, you know, those are the main things, like I say, that really stood out in this episode. So if there's anything else that I've forgotten there, I'm sure people in the comments can probably point them out to me. Other than that, we'll wrap up here. So thanks for joining me for episode 4 there, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed my reaction. And I look forward to episode 5. Other than that, as usual outro stuff. You know, Propagandist is my second channel, main channel link. General Red Strategies is down in the video description. If you're interested in gaming content, that might be up your alley. Other than that, yeah, thanks everybody, and thanks for all your views. Thanks for all your engagement with the, you know, with my RWBY reactions and all that. And, you know, it's always pleasing to me that I can entertain people and amuse them with my reactions in that way. So, yeah, join me next time. Goodbye, everybody.